Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Gotta fix the camera. There we are. So, hello everybody. Got Daniel on. Greetings. The cat is up and looking to play. Yeah, that is actually the noisy kitty. The other one's around here somewhere too, but she was just sitting in the window looking all pretty, so I'm like, oh great, she gets to be on the kitty cam. You wanna come say hello to everybody? She's like, no. Not really. I'm camera shy, remember? Keegan, greetings. So Keegan is in Florida today. All right. Well, that sounds pretty fun. CAMC, greetings and hello to you as well. Well, today we're going to be looking at the day that blogging has died. I kind of want to sing some Don McLean. Right? Oh, here's the other one. Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Alright, make room for the cat. He gets to have his regular seat while we live stream. He likes live streams. It's the only time he's allowed on the desk. Right, only time you're allowed on the desk, huh? Alright, Loki, how's it going there? Hello, Robert Fitzpatrick. Hello, greetings. Hello, Robert, how are you? Bad Wolf, how's it going there? Peter, greetings and hello to you as well. Adolpha Blood, hello. Hello, CMC. All right. Well, this is, like I said, if you're not used to what I'm doing on Saturdays now, I'm mostly taking a day off, doing a simple live stream with no preparation. Usually what I'm doing is I'm just scanning the quick news sites. Is there an article I think is worthy enough to discuss? And I found one today from The Verge, and this is about this commentary that some of the things that we are seeing these days is we are starting to see a whole lot of attacks on the internet from a lot of different places. Tux Digital, greetings. How are you, Michael? Greetings and salutations. Thanks for clicking on the live stream button. Am I Joe Collins? Everyone gives me that joke. I don't know. I'm really Joe Collins. You guys just don't. No, I'm kidding. But check out Joe's channel too. Very, very good. And Tux Digital as well. It's got some good Linux news. How's it going? How are you and the kitties? Me and the kitties are doing okay, except CJ is renamed this week. I am naming him Fleopolis. I think I pulled 25 fleas off of him yesterday, and that's like way too much. That's like any more in a single day, and I might actually have to bomb the house. And for any NSA listening, that's a flea bomb. Have to specify when you're on a live stream, Lord. But anyway, let's see. Thirsty Fox, greetings. We Negan now. Hello there. Does anyone, what's the Linux Mint application that checks your driver usage? Charts and folder sizes. Isn't it just System Monitor is what it's called. And let's see if there is a more official package name. Officially, it's called System Monitor. Yep, that is officially what it's called. Hello, Saddleridge. Greetings. Yeah, me as well. Me as well. All right. So, as we're talking about the internet being under attack, of course, there was a controversial EU copyright law, which was actually strucken down-ish. It was tabled. It's tabled until September. And really, this is funny because a lot of the people who were supposed to be voting on it hadn't even, they kind of casually heard the name of it, but didn't know anything about it until all of us of the internet started to raise a big stink about it. So, internet protests do indeed work, so it's very important to keep going with that. There's another day of awareness coming up in August, so anybody that is in an EU country, be aligned, be aware of that day as well, and make sure that you are contacting, what do they call them, something over there, your legislators, whoever they are over there in the EU. So the thing was tabled. It was sent back to the drawing board again, but that hasn't stopped some other things from popping up. A few other countries have started to do some interesting things. So like Uganda now has a social media tax. That's right, 5 US cents per day. Of course, that's 5 US cents is a lot of money over there. 5 US cents per day to use various social media sites. But what we're going to look at here today is Tanzania has a huge tax now on pretty much anything on the internet, and it's going to drive any of your bloggers and stuff off of the streams. I think Negan is referring to something like disk usage analyzer. Yeah, it's called System Monitor on Linux Mint. I'm running Linux Mint, so I just popped it up and had a look. Anyone have ideas on minimum processor RAM specs for personal NAS device? I'm pretty sure you can run one on a Raspberry Pi. I've not tried it. I am running Open Media Vault on a Dell Inspiron Micro Tower, which I think it's a dual core processor and 2 or 4 gigs of RAM. I can't remember what my system resources are. Let me find that real quick. I can probably look that up as long as I can remember my password. I often have to look it up, but being as I had to get in there and do some work the other day, I think I might remember it. So it's low is the bottom line. Is that it? No, I think I missed the password by 1 character. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Okay, so I have a Intel Pentium CPU N3700 at 1.6 gigahertz. And I have 4 gigs of RAM in it. So that's not particularly good processor. Mine runs perfectly fine, even streaming things off of it. I'm pretty sure you can do it on a Raspberry Pi as well. Oh, and I am currently only using 5% of the memory and 7% of the CPU. So I'm going to say, go on a limb and say a Raspberry Pi would work just fine for a NAS. Let's see. Greetings, Noah. How's it going there? Just outside. Cat is loaded. I just used those drops in her. Our chinchillas go outside during the day. It's packed. Is that chinchillas? I don't know. Whatever. Chihuahuas. Chinchillas. What? Chihuahuas. I can't pronounce dog names. I don't know. Let's see here. Even though Sega used to use that meme the same way to donate the charities in Uganda, social media tax in Uganda. Greetings, Alice. How are you? And storage space is the most important thing with a NAS. Yes, I only run mine at 1 terabyte because I don't really do, I don't do my video backup archive there. I just use it for media files and system backups of important files. And I only use about less than half of what's on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave a note in my comments there. We're going to go ahead and get through the discussion, and then I'll hang out and talk on the comments for a while. All right, so in Tanzania, a new regulation was passed, which is actually pushing various bloggers and vloggers off of the internet. So in May, the bloggers lost an appeal that temporarily suspended a new set of regulations, granting the companies basically their version of the FCC. Maybe all FCC guys are corrupt. I don't know. Officially dubbed the Electronic and Postal Communications Online Consent Regulations of 2018. So basically, what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to curb hate speech and fake news. It requires online creators, which is any traditional media sites, any online TV, any radio channels, and any individual bloggers and podcasters in the country to pay a roughly 2 million shilling, which is $930 in registration and licensing fees. They also must store all contributors' details for 12 months and have a means to identify their sources and disclose financial sponsors. In other words, journalism is effectively dead because one of the key factors of journalism is keeping your sources confidential, particularly in light of whistleblowing and leaks and things like that. Cyber cafes must install surveillance cameras, and all owners of electronic mobile devices, including phones, have to protect them with a password. So, excuse me, sir, do you have your phone? Let me see your phone. Dude, this does not have a password. You're getting fined. That is ridiculous. That's crazy. Let's see. They have to have a password protect them. Failure to comply with regulations which also forbid online content that is, quote, indecent, quote, annoying, or, quote, that leads to public disorder will result in $5 million, which is $2,202 fine, a jail term of not less than a year, or both. Holy crap. What is this, digital crack? What is going on? These new regulations are already forcing young content creators and often poorer ones offline. So in other words, you can't do what we're doing here in America. I want to create a blogging platform. I want to create a YouTube channel. I want to do these things, and I have very little, and we're going to start and bootstrap this guy up. You can't do it. You effectively have to already be a huge corporation to get into, buy your way into the media world in this situation. Their GDP, of course, is $879, which means that fine is about 3 times the country's GDP for violating not password protecting your phone. About 70% of the population lives on less than 2, I'm guessing that's US dollars a day. So that would be 2,202 days' wages for failing to password protect your phone. Financial burden of these new laws threaten to widen the internet access gap, you think? With all these regulations, vlogging is not worth it, says Faith Hillary, a YouTube creator without 4,500 subs who goes by the handle Tanzanian Vlogger. Well, did go by the handle. Hillary won't be returning to her channel in light of the new regulations. It's like, I'm seeking asylum. What's going on? They're oppressing my internet use. But this is the thing we've created. This is the internet we've created. We have got to deal with the monster that we have born into this world. Okay, make very small revenue from Google Ads, which doesn't translate to the amount of time I put into videos or in the money I spend on the internet bundle. The money I get is nowhere near the licensing fee that is being asked. Fee is not only the only issue at stake. These new regulations are also convincing individual creators, like, I can't pronounce that name, my apologies, a management and policy consultant who recently shuttered her literary blog where she published book reviews and flash fiction, that creating online is just not worth the hassle. The vagueness of the terms like online content providers and prohibited content was the deal breaker, and says the requirements also brought, quote, lots of responsibility I would not have time for. And once again, when these big regulatory agencies pass these blanket statements that a small person, an individual business owner, a small vlogger doesn't have the ability to comply. But a big corporate can come in and hire the intern at, at free or less to go in and make sure your only task is to start making sure these regulations are fulfilled. And then the business and media thing can proceed on. It is the same for bloggers. Is it Elise and Ayakuzu? After a decade, recently stopped posting her award-winning blog, the Maikunli, I can't pronounce that, my apologies. Miko Cheney, I guess it's Miko Cheney report, because the law's expensive fees. She calls the idea of taxation a flimsy excuse promoted by the government to restrict free speech. With a reported 600,000 unique views per day until its recent shutdown, whistleblowing site Jamie Forums is one of the highest profile sites in Tanzania to be affected by the online regulations. Often referred to as the Swahili WikiLeaks, the forum fought the government in the past over protecting sources, but the stipulation of new online content regulations further complicate that relationship. Site was initially forced to go offline last month for failing to register and obtain a license. While its registration had been approved, authorities insisted the forum remain offline until it had issued a hard copy certificate marking government approval, a process that delayed the site's operation for 2 weeks. And then they'll have to monitor all 80,000 comments it receives a day, collect user information, and delete any content the regulatory body finds inappropriate within 12 hours of notification. These are untenable things. Now, the good thing about this is it prevents single one or two abusive companies from operating well, but they're already breaking the law. They're going to get around this. This is only going to hurt the legitimate law-abiding citizens. It's the similar argument you can make regarding gun policy. You know, if you're just going to force all the guns off the street, all you're going to do is disarm the law-abiding citizens. That's just the reality of the matter. Initially we thought regulation was about the money, but it's not. While they've now paid the fees, he said, he says he and Mushi told regulators Jamie Forms will not be complying with stipulation about collecting user data. The government can control the traditional media, but they don't have the ability to control cyberspace. All these laws are about controlling cyberspace. And, you know, once you try and wage a war against the internet usually wins. Just a little message for Tanzania. They're probably going to win. You'll drive to people on a tour. You'll drive people in places where you can't keep an eye on them even nearly as effectively. And that's probably what some of these groups are going to do, is drive themselves onto tour. But yeah, this isn't about raising a little bit of revenue. This is about silencing people that you want to silence, because the only people who have the resources to pull this off are the big conglomerate corporations, the guys that already have billions. They're just like, oh Lord, I guess I have to forego that new yacht so I can, you know, pay the fees. But oh well, we'll keep making money there, and that's kind of the downside. Writers, musicians, visual artists, photographers not only must contend with exorbitant licensing fees in order to promote their work to fans and potential employers and buyers across the world. Now they risk having their entire online portfolio removed by the government for being deemed unpalatable in a number of ways. Artistic expression is bound to suffer if creatives have to second-guess every thought of fears of censorship. And this is kind of important because I actually started my first blog back when blogging was fairly unknown. Back, I want to say it's like 2003 or 2004 is really when I first started blogging. And I would love to have more time to blog more. And I'm slowly ramping into that. And as I'm making more on content creation, blogging is going to be a very critical part of that. It's just the unfortunate thing is I need to spend a fair amount of my time doing client work for other things as well and meet the bills while that's ramping up. But that being said, I do write books, and it is already hard marketing books and getting books out online and getting books somewhere where I can sell them. And it's difficult to do that already, and this just makes it pretty much impossible. So if you're any creative person or anybody who's not just plugged right into a corporate body, you have got to be an agent of the state or the agent of a big corporation. This effectively also kills all freelancers. This effectively kills any free use of the internet and becomes a giant oppression over the people. The new law seems to have been inspired by the government in a neighboring Uganda. This is an interesting one. So as of July 1st, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Skype, and Instagram, and YouTube, and some other social media sites now have to pay 200 shillings, which is 5 US cents per day. Does anybody know what is the approximate cost? Like, how much is a day's wage in there? Can somebody look that up and throw it in the comments? I didn't have a chance to look into that. This is in Uganda. So you have to pay 5 US cents per day for access. And this is hilarious. Like, or corporatocracy. Can we all say corporatocracy? And they have to pay via their mobile service providers' money platforms. What? I have to use Samsung Pay, Google Pay, or Apple Pay in order to access a social media site? My Lineage phone don't have that. And I will not be connecting any banking or any payment information to a mobile phone. Do I look like a raving idiot? I mean, Lord, this is crazy. The mere fact that you have to pay via your mobile device's payment platform, that just like, who wrote this thing? Apple? Ugandan government says the new social media tax is meant to curtail gossip and generate revenue by paying off the country's debt. But critics are already decrying it as a ploy to muzzle free speech, right? Is your free speech muzzled, kitty? Is your free speech muzzled? He doesn't talk much, so he can speak all he wants unless it's 3 in the morning. Then he gets a cat, shut up. Oh boy. So Uganda, where youth and unemployed normally buy internet in small bundles, this social media levy threatens to have the same chilling effect on Tanzania. Okay, over 70% of the country's 44 million people are below the age of 30, and critics argue that younger demographic is being fined for political reasons. Ugandan President Yoweri, I'm sorry, I just don't get involved in all the international namey stuff. Museveni, whatever, we'll call him that, who has been in power since '86, has demonstrated a thinning skin for criticism, and now the younger demographic has proven to be formidable. A formidable voting bloc, having just elected the 36-year-old social media savvy musician Bobby Wine to parliament last year. With the country's upcoming presidential elections in 2020, younger voters more likely will use the internet for grassroots political organizing, and by the way, social media sites were restricted during the country's last presidential election. I don't know, maybe that is a good thing. I don't know. Ugandan government is unlikely to reconsider its stance in the near future. Okay, so, Alice, the minimum wages set by categories, minimum wage ranges from 40,000 shillings per month to 400,000 shillings per month, which is $1,600 per year. Okay, so $1,600 per year. Okay, let me find that cost again. All right, so 200 shillings a day. 200 shillings a day to access it. So 300, that's like, is that more than a year's wage? Holy moly. This is the end. This is the end of what we do as we know it, folks. Because once things happen in one country, it starts to breed and spread throughout other countries. Usually, there's instances where it doesn't if major political oppression happens to occur. But now that these countries are doing it, EU is trying to have its extensive Articles 11 and Articles of 13, with net neutrality being repealed here in the States. You know, we are at the complete mercy now of Comcast. So if Comcast or Time Warner or whoever your ISP is, and there's really only 3 Charter, 3 major ones, if they decide that, hey, tomorrow, YouTube package that costs $50 a month, you got no choice but to pay it, because we have 0 options for competition, unlike Asia, shut your pie hole. Seems to say, well, the competition will take care of itself. Not when there's... Dude, when there's so much red tape, Google can't enter the ISP industry, we got a problem. Okay? We got a problem. But once this type of stuff starts to happen, and who are they going to silence first? I have a reasonable belief that since I am a Protestant fundamental Christian, I'm going to be one of the first to be censored. Right? And that means that my blog, my books, my channels could very possibly just... I couldn't pay these types of fees. And this is the type of thing that starts to happen. So this is the day that blogging has died. What are your thoughts? Let me know. All right, let's see. Farron OS, greetings. Let's see. Where was I at? Where was I at? Do you really need a NAS? Most routers has a USB port to connect to disk/printer. On my router, it worked without any additional configuration. Switch, what would happen to our world if there was no government? That might be fairly bad as well. I mean, look at what happens in places where natural disasters happen. Usually just chaos and anarchy breaks out. Violence generally goes up to a peak in most places. Just don't mess with the end-day preppers. You'll likely die. Flea season is upon us. Yeah, my cats have never had fleas before. And they're indoor cats. I don't know where they picked them up, but apparently they have. Rather have a full-blown NAS, family of 6+ computers. Yep. We got a new channel called Linux Vlogger. All right, there you go. Cool. Annoying. Oh, finally they're dealing with pop-up ads on MediaFire. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, the ads probably won't be the thing that's considered annoying. Annoying would be anybody speaking what the powers that be don't like to hear. And that's kind of the problem. Using Manjaro Cinnamon today. Very good. Very nice. Have I tried Mastodon? I have not. Greetings, James Miller. How are you? Be right back. All right. See you later. Welcome back. All right. Tanzania? Thank you. Hey, once you get outside of the United States, man, I'm hopeless. I'm hopeless. I'm learning. Mastodon is a free and open source social media platform. Yeah, like Facebook. Well, Facebook isn't open source, but Mastodon is an open, decentralized alternative to Twitter. Google Play is a nightmare. Now Google wants to know what we're buying. Oh, yeah. Well, they've known that for a while. In fact, Google has access to over 70% of all credit card data, online and offline data. So if you've used... I can't remember how all of the inner workings are at. I have a video about it. But if you're using a credit card anywhere, Google can usually tie that to your online system. And that way it helps them, quote unquote, helps them to sell better data to their advertisers is what it's sold as. Google itself is a nightmare, but I use an Android phone. I have no choice but to use their services. No, you do not have to. I use Lineage. It has no Google services in it at all. It has the open source Android, which of course is a Google product, but there is none of the closed source back-end connections to Google. It doesn't make any connections to Google. I've looked into that. And then what you use, you use F-Droid or another open market for running your apps. So you do not have to use Google services on an Android phone. You just have to wipe the ROM off and use something like Lineage. And there's a few other ones out there as well. $40,000 is only $18, which I assume is most people earn. So I'm pretty sure people can't afford it in years. Yep. Fair, you guys voted for the person who put Agent Pie in the SEC. Farron, that is incorrect. Okay, well, ish. Okay, the presidents appoint people to the FCC. The FCC is appointed, not an elected body. It was Obama who originally put Ajit Pai in the FCC. It was Trump who made him chairman because Wheeler resigned. Had Wheeler not resigned, and he shouldn't have resigned, had Wheeler not resigned, then we would be stuck with Wheeler for quite a while, and we wouldn't have had this major downfall. So we cannot be pointing to the presidents and saying, well, we voted him in. No. What we should be doing is making a bigger stink about it and maybe doing something to get some other question. But somebody is going to appoint somebody to the FCC. We have to actually take better approaches. But it was not Donald Trump who put Ajit Pai in the FCC. It was Obama. A lot of people forget about that. And yeah, we voted either one in. So by nature, we always effectively vote the people who put the FCC people in because the FCC isn't appointed by the president. So that's that. That's a contradiction. Blogging is still a thing in our society. Yes, but it will be dying. It will be dying. Love your live streams. Thank you, Killmonger Forever. How's it going? All right, I would never pay $50 a month for YouTube. Neither to watch it if I was a content creator, I wouldn't give them a cent. Live stream is about the Tanzania regulations on anybody pretty much using the internet. All right, we would already be living in 1984. Sounds about right. Well, in reality, 1984 is definitely the more popular book, but Our Society is actually a whole lot closer to Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Because the difference is, in 1984, there's an outward government oppression. We are moving in that direction, no doubt about it. But Brave New World was about us oppressing ourselves by our own choices, and that's what we do by getting the boob tube and the constant addiction to the cell phone and not paying attention to the world around us because we are stupid into pure entertainment. Or as Neil Postman wrote it, amusing ourselves to death. We are in Brave New World, slowly progressing towards a 1984. But that's really where we're at. So if you want to know where we are, that's where we're at. Okay, people will run in all directions until Zanzibar alternatives are found. Okay. Missed the bully live stream. Fell asleep. Oh, all right. Well, you can catch it. I think actually you were awake, I think, for most of it. We kind of diverged into society in general after the bully talk. But it was good. Finally switched lines full-time yesterday. Very good. Are you still answering questions? If so, what are some ways to being doxxed? I mean, doxxed, to my understanding of the definition, it's when your full details are exposed online. Best way is to not have your full details out there. Using a series of phone relays and things like that. So, for example, if you go to my main web design website where I have a phone number on it, that just rings to a Google service. Yeah, very easy to block, and you're not going to track down anything with that because it's a nebulous Google phone number. You're not going to use that number and try and track down who or where I am. You're not going to do it. You use post office boxes instead of having things mailed to your house. And really that's the type of stuff that you do. You just got to prevent your stuff from getting out there, and don't give anybody any information about you that they don't need. And that's the thing, is in our school systems right now, we are so programmed, and our kids mostly are so programmed to just, because we're pushing the kids on the technology, we're pushing them to just be obedient to society, and basically we're effectively teaching them to fill out spam messages and all these other things. Like, does Spotify really need your birthday? The answer is no. Spotify has no reason to collect your birthday. It should be illegal for a company like Spotify to collect your birthday. But outside of that, which is probably never going to happen, you need to have the common sense, if you're going to sign up for something that asks that information, to not give it real information. Unless it's a government agency or a bank, your real information is in nobody's business. And if they absolutely insist, I'd just rather not use the service. All right, so we are teaching, though, our kids to just fill out anything that pops up on a form in front of us. And it's working. And we need to teach them the contrary. That's how you prevent it, in my opinion. And cats are awesome. Thank you. My kitties are awesome. Kitties, you're awesome. All right. Frustranger, greetings. Super chat from Clean937. Thank you, Clean. I appreciate it. Let me know if there's a question with that, too. Sounds kind of depressing. I'm old enough to know this is a sign of things to come. Currently running Linux Mint Terra XFCE. Very good. Oh, the awesomeness just showed up. Hello, I know I'm awesome. All right. Does Tanzania think they can raise money doing this? If so, no one can afford it. No, I don't. I think they're just doing it to shut everyone up. Like, comments are delayed again. What is going on? Like, I know I was past some of these comments, and all of a sudden Saddle Ridge's comments started showing up. Greetings, Saddle Ridge. How are you? Your comments just showed up in the middle of nowhere. Do realize my username used to have developer on the end of it. Right now, dev is only because of people not wanting to tag the long names. Crazy. Corporations are becoming too powerful. Yep, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. That's right, you may as well fight fire with fire. Corporate power with corporate power, huh? It's possible you can make a video explaining how to install Lineage OS. I have a video explaining how to install Lineage OS. I have 2 videos about it. Just go onto my video archive and I think Lineage will probably pull it up. You might also find it under Nexus. I'm using a Nexus 5X, but I detailed it in very fine detail across a couple of videos. Okay. Even for the new Samsung Galaxy. I'm not sure if Samsung Galaxy S9 is supported yet. You just check out Lineage's website. They actually have all of the supported devices and all the directions over there as well. Okay. Hello, Milton. Welcome to Idiocracy. Yes, there you go. Of course, you might. Depends on the phone. You need fast boot and ADB. Yep. Ubuntu, I can install those packages with the exact name. lineageos.org. Yep. Glad you're liking it so far. I'm currently running Linux Mint 18.3 XFCE and can tell you that Linux Mint XFCE is a solid distro. Yes. Peter Jensen, how's it going there, Peter? XDA Developer Forum has a better post on S9. I found the XDA Developer Forum generally has really, really good tutorials, so that's a good place to go. For my email address at a grocery store. No. Yeah, I love it when they're like, what's your zip code? 12345. What? No, what's your zip code? You don't get my zip code. Nor do you get my name. Like, I don't even give him my real name when I'm going for a haircut. You know? Going for a haircut. My name's Joe. What's your last name, Joe? None of your business. Actually, anymore of like, you know, even restaurants like, ooh, what's your name? Joe Bob Henry Bob Squano Jones IV. I got that down. I mean, I instinctively, if I'm in a store and someone asks my name, Joe Bob Henry Bob Squano Jones IV, man. I mean, that's it. So, that is kind of that. So, absolutely, yeah. And by the way, here's another fun thing. Don't use Shoppers Club cards. Most stores have Shoppers cards there that they'll use, or the cashier's like, jink, because they get points for it. Hey, give them all the points they want. You know what? It's like, I can save 5 cents on gas if I buy $500 in groceries this month. I can save 5 cents on gas paying cash, people. Realize there are a lot of gas stations in most of our towns that you can get a discount for paying cash. I can think of 4 or 5 of them in my area. And those are the gas stations I go to. Because I pay cash for gas, I get a 5-cent discount. And I don't have to give a store access to everything I'm buying. If you're aware of, there was a funny case, I think it was in Seattle, where a city government bought the list of what everyone was buying on the Shoppers Club cards, cross-referenced everyone who bought pet supplies versus those who didn't buy a pet license, and started sending threatening letters to people whose Shopper Club cards had bought pet supplies but did not license a pet. That is why you don't use Shoppers Club cards, people. Most stores you can get the same discounts without it. All right. The one store I go to, they don't have the cards at the register. You can call a manager for them, but most of their things don't have price discounts with those cards anyway. All those cards are doing is collecting your data. And never know who they're going to sell it to. They might sell it to the government to see who's buying what, you know, and like they have. Kind of fascinating. Oh, boy. Running Linux Mint 19 with Farron OS on top. 1802, but upgraded my custom Mint Major tool, which is in Ferris. All right. Okay. What happened if people grouped and formed corporations and went after the government on their own terms? That would be interesting. Kind of like a grassroots movement. Just ignore government, get a VPN, and rock on. Tom shouldn't lie about a zip code. Hey, man, it's 12345. Deal with it. Like, what's your phone number? None of your business. The last thing I want is a phone call from you. It's like, excuse me, I'm here for my once a quarter haircut. I don't need to be, it's like, oh, we'll send you coupons. I don't need, if I need a coupon to get my haircut, man, I need to cut out other things in my life. Oh, man. Oh, wait for S6 Oreo Lineage OS to become official. All right. Where I live, they round off to 5 cents if you pay cash. Play it smart and you pay less. Google Pay on Google Play. Well, you pay if you use Google Pay. Already recently reinstalling Lineage OS for one of the updates. Samsung logo, but yeah, I'm still on Android 7, I think, on mine, but I don't have a reason to upgrade. Then I'm fine with that. Do you use Proton Mail by any chance? I have a Proton Mail account that I have used for testing, just to test if it works well, but I host my own emails. I don't bother with anybody's email services. If anyone else is hosting your email service, then it produces a potential risk. Of course, hosting your own is a potential risk as well, but I just rather have my own control over things like that. Backup's out of date. Did Twerp allows ADB bridge out of the box, so might as well do it to transfer the data. Say 10,001 because that is a real zip code. Ooh, there you go. Yeah, that's Manhattan, isn't it? Somewhere in New York, I think. Well, we've hit the bottom of the comments. Is there anything else we want to chat about here? I'm going to look up, since we had a question on it, I'm going to look up the minimum system requirements for Open Media Vault if I can. Okay, let's see. Okay, minimum system requirements. 500 megahertz Pentium 3 class or higher, 128 megabytes of RAM, 512 is recommended, and storage of 2 gigabytes. That's your minimum recommendations. Like I said, I'm using a Dell Inspiron Micro Towers. What I'm using for mine, I have an entire video about how I built it. I do want to experiment with doing one out of a Raspberry Pi. There are 2 limitations to the Raspberry Pi I can think of off the top. The first is the Raspberry Pi's Ethernet port is only 10100, which means it could be a little bit slower to interact with versus mine is a gigabit. The second is you would generally need to use external hard drives with that, which means you have to have a secondary power source because the Raspberry Pi cannot power external hard drives by itself. So what I actually have done before is testing, this actually worked on a test, is you get yourself a external powered USB hub. And what you do is the external USB hub, you can plug that in, you can power the Raspberry Pi off of that and the hard drives off of that and just loop the data line back into the Raspberry Pi. That will work and it will have one device plugged into the wall. So that's kind of what you do with that. 90210, there you go. It's Beverly Hills. 90210. Remember that show? Anybody watch that show? I use Gmail and I use Yahoo because of the hackers. Yeah, I can say Gmail's probably one of the more secure ones. I'm not sure about the privacy aspect, but security Google does a pretty good job of. Possible that more Linux distros will come to mobile devices. Yes, after the Librem 5 phone is out, then I really think that that's going to be the gateway to having more stuff. Gmail's not much better since they admit they can read your emails, and that's why I was talking about the privacy is not there, but the security probably is. Tux Digital, so your postal code is 17. Well, Ubuntu Mobile is actually picked up by UB Ports, and they're actually currently working with Librem. So the Ubuntu will be one of the desktops you can have on the Librem 5 phone, to my understanding. Uploads video earlier, takes 2 hours, hits 40%, accident, goes to another page, cutting off upload as YouTube stupidly didn't interrupt me leaving the page. Really? Mine interrupts me if I try to do that. Natural News says Facebook banned part of a post with lines from Declaration. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was the section about the whole king. Was it King Henry? Who was it? King Henry, King George, whoever the king was in England at that time. My apologies, I'm not up on my UK history there. The part of the Declaration of Independence talks about his, quote unquote crimes against humanity, and Facebook considers that hate speech, and so yeah, it blocked part of the Declaration of Independence from going up on. It's like, all right, Facebook, get out, get out of our country. Moon 5 has potential to run multiple distros when it releases. Yeah. Now, Tux, is it multiple distros or is it multiple desktop environments? Can you clarify that? You probably know a whole lot more about that than me. Oh, Raspberry Pi 3B has 300. Ooh, that's good to know. I mean, it's not gigabit, but that would be enough for me, honestly. I'll have to look into that. The downside is I don't want a Raspberry Pi for my NAS that has a wireless card on it. I want to be able to hardwire things in and completely hardware remove the wireless cards. I'd like to see better Pis, like higher system resource Pis that don't have the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi there. You could go in there, of course, and remove all the drivers and stuff, but I'd rather the hardware not be there at all, honestly. Librem 5 is the new phone from Purism. Yes, that should be released in, I think they were thinking like February 19 is what my initial thoughts were. I've not looked at the project in about 4 or 5 months, so it could be recently or later than that, but yeah. Vindicator, small town public, yes. Raspberry Pi 3.14, absolutely. There you go. That's the next Pi they should make, the Raspberry Pi 3.14. I definitely want to look at Librem 5 when it releases. Hope it succeeds. Yeah. Idea for a video that may be in your alley. How do you remove your data from a device before disposing of it? I usually just shoot it with a gun. I mean, that works. Yeah, deleting everything in recovery is good. Ubuntu Touch and Plasma Mobile are the two options. It should have, it'll also have a GNOME that I know about. George the Third, okay. Missed the beginning, but I do see less and less blogs now online. Android Ubuntu. Thought you might want to use stuff that's not completely free. Oh, though you want to. Okay, Farron. Do you use JavaScript blocker? That could cause YouTube to not warn you. No, I don't think it's JavaScript that does, but I don't know. It might be. Both multiple distros and multiple DEs. Okay, cool. Very good. Greetings, Noah. Welcome back. Mint would have to create a mobile version, not the phone itself, so it'd be very unlikely they'd make a version for mobile. I mean, frankly, I would like to see I would run either the GNOME or the Plasma. I'd probably do the Plasma first because that's, I like Plasma more than GNOME out of the box. That's kind of my thought, but yeah, it'd be neat to see what it has. What mail service do you recommend? I don't recommend mail services. I host my own emails with cPanel web servers. I have a couple throwaway ones from my old days in Hotmail. Like, I've had a Hotmail account since well before Microsoft owned it. But if you have to use an online one, Proton Mail, the downside with Proton Mail, and the reason I don't use it a lot and am not really moving towards it is, I mean, I could easily pay for it to have the ability to check it on my mail clients like Evolution or Thunderbird or Kmail, whatever. That certainly is an option, but I'm already paying to host my emails on my own hosting platforms. I don't have a need to pay for it other places. So I use the Proton Mail Connects. I just connect to it with the web browser on the phone, and I actually use that for an auxiliary Amazon account. Is what I use that for, and that's pretty much all I use it for. And you forward Gmail to Proton. You need to go into your Gmail account, and there is a mail forward option in your settings in your Gmail account, and that will forward everything to Proton. No, Raspberry Pi squared or cubed. I accidentally pinged myself. Any colonials were better off under King George III tax-wise than they are under federal and state. Yeah, I mean, we protested and created an entire country out of, was it a 1% or a 3% tax? I would love to only pay 3% tax. Post with writing it or text. What is blogging? Blogging is where you write articles on a RSS feeded website. Where you make a post with writing on it or text about stuff. Where do I? Keyboard. Gnome is a completely custom shell. My main blog, like most of my sites are set up in blog format options. I don't intentionally blog on Switch to Linux frequently. Every now, I would like to. It'd be cool to. It's just, it's too time consuming for that. The place where I have the most blogs and the most long enduring blog is my Christian one at ourwalkinchrist.com. Which right now I haven't been doing that because I'm porting all my shows to podcast over there, and that just takes forever. Lieben 5 is very interesting to me based on the structure because they're doing two different processors, two different and a separate baseband from the rest of the core. Very good. Those offenses, the fudging USA lists as a document. Way more taxes. Separate baseband thing makes possible for multiple distros being available to be used. Very good. Very awesome. Switch to Linux. Do you like Linux? No, not at all. Linux is horrible. Yes, of course I like Linux. Even 5, all the things though, does it still have a headphone jack? It had better have a headphone jack. Read off the Patriot Act, irony, get the full fury of the government spying on you. Google Sites is a form of blogging. Well, Google's official blogging platform is Blogger, which actually I think I have 1 or 2 of those still. Them's the good old days. I think I started on Blogger, and I eventually just registered my domain name and started the blog. 2000, like I said, 2003 or 2004, I think, is when I started with it. In itself, it's not too bad about the government spends it. But it's important of all, will they ever consider a notch? I hope not. 7% tax in Rhode Island. Is that sales tax or is that an income tax? We have 3% in Pennsylvania, but the biggest problem with Pennsylvania is you have every local municipality also has a tax. So I have federal taxes, and I have state taxes, and I have local taxes. Oh, how exciting. Scandinavia, they don't complain about the tax in the U.S. where so much money is wasted on war in the army. Well, I mean, I don't even think... we have bigger wasteful things than war in the military. I don't care about that quite as much as some of the other waste going down. Yes, it does. Does have a charger port. You know, sold the iPhone 10 without a charging port, apparently. Yeah, well, iPhone 10, they wanted to be like all wireless, and they couldn't pull it off. Ubuntu Touch is now official with UB ports, and Ubuntu does still assist in some ways, but Canonical is no longer the driving force. Plasma is the only mobile Linux DE that is fully official by the main project. Well, again, CS Reindeer, you're confusing sales tax and income tax. This is something a lot of people do. Sales tax in Pennsylvania is 6%. A few of the bigger jurisdictions like Pennsylvania and Philadelphia can tack on an extra 1% if they want. But income tax and sales tax are different things. Income tax is 3%, with your local municipalities attaching on an extra amount as well. I think my local's 1.4 or something. 7% sales tax in Rhode Island, which isn't too bad. Like Tennessee is one of the higher ones. They don't have state tax, they don't have income tax, but they do have big sales tax. And I'm okay with that. I'm saying, hey, let's raise the sales tax on everything and cut back income tax. Much more fair way to go, because you end up paying taxes on what you want. If you're some weird little minimalist like me that doesn't buy a lot, you don't end up paying a lot in taxes. But, you know, I mean, that's probably the better way to do it. Pay attention to stuff. Yeah, Tux Digital knows all about all of those ins and outs, the fine little details. So check out his show for the fine little details of all this kind of stuff. I don't keep up on a lot of that. I got to watch his show to know what's going on in this stuff. I am a Linux user from the user's perspective, not the back-end's perspective. I don't know the differences between... Oh, Tux, well, you're on. I heard GNOME 3.2a is completely doing away with desktop icons. Is that true? That's something that came out in my Pingoy OS review, that even toggling that on with the system tweaks, still I was not able to see desktop icons for like the computer, the files, things like that. I was still able to put folders on the desktop. What's going on with that? Any ideas? Sales tax is a regressive tax, so it hurts poor people more than rich. That is true. I could see that. I will have to agree with you there. Sales tax in Netherlands is 21%. And when there's gas tax, the PS gas tax is now worse than commie Maryland. It's possible. But hey, man, we'll all get our electric cars, so we won't be paying our fair share. Florida has 0 state tax, which is why New Jersey residents are moving there. Moment you click to watch a video and realize it's actually live. Wealth is the best thing to tax. Yes, desktop icons are going away entirely. They're moved from Nautilus, and the only way is to do a shell extension. Really? See, more reasons I hate GNOME. That'll explain it, though. Greetings, Chater. How's it going there? Norway, 15% sales tax on food, 25% on other things. Pingoy OS randomly says, oh, hi there. I'm still alive, by the way. Huh. They raised tobacco taxes way up. It's really sad that RSS is dying. Back in the day, RSS feed readers were really much more privacy safe than today's news aggregators. Shouldn't be a tax on toilet paper. I mean, come on. Well, actually, it's funny, Mike. If you look at, I think it was Computing Forever did a hilarious video on why is this a thing, where you had the ladies in the European Union saying, I'm on my period, and where's my government assistance to help pay for my feminine hygiene products? It's like, dude, I gotta shave every day. You gonna help me shave? Here's a tip. Build it into your budget, people. Don't ask for government assistance to buy your tampons and razors. Okay, it's not exactly that super expensive. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sales tax is called VAT in the EU, normally about 20%. Norway is a wonderful country, best run country in Europe. All right. Oh, look at that. More scammers are trying to get through me on my Google phone number. I'd rather than just beep my email once in a while than actually call my phone now. Google dislikes you. It will show a blank page when you go to your channel. Only thing that sucks is we pay for the military, but my dad works re-bring up cases in the VA again. None of it goes to the people it actually serves. Switch, have you found any news lately that would make for a good Tom on Fire movement? Yeah, I just haven't rebuilt my Tom on Fire scripts. I need to do it, though. I don't think RSS feeds are dying either. They're a major part, particularly because RSS feeds is how podcasting works, and podcasting is still bigger than video content. GNOME is also removing system tray icons. Another way to do is shell extension. Look at their API saw GTK4, GNOME 4 breaking those extensions too. Why? GNOME, you already suck. Are you trying to kill yourself? Hey, Nobi Roger. I am doing well. How are you? See preview of GNOME 9. GNOME 4, but no buttons whatsoever. The shell nor the file manager, nothing in the file manager regarding an empty head bar. California already pay taxes. Cal farts. How long before they levy a pull my finger tax? Pull my finger, man. 5 cents, please. Whoa, yeah, I agree. Well, hey, Microsoft's working on that thing. Didn't you see their? I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find that article from. Okay, let's see if I can find that. See if I can find the Microsoft's IoT plan. Okay. I showed this in one of my videos. I just want to find this picture again. It's quite funny. I think this might be it. Maybe it was in a video too. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking it was, let's see. Oh, wait. Found it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna pause that, unmute that. It was a video. That's why I couldn't find it. All right. So here is Microsoft's IoT plan.
Devices. Across every industry.
Okay, why did that IoT device just go to that cow? Okay, they're talking about their IoT devices everywhere. The IoT device is going to the cow. Can someone please explain to me what's going on? I mean, great. We have Microsoft products. Microsoft products. The IoT cow, folks. Microsoft's getting really innovative. Oh boy. What's up with the cost of shaving razors? Yeah, I'm telling. Well, and the funniest thing is when people get signed up on these monthly subscription plans to get a subscription plan for a razor. I don't know. I mean, it's a little piece of metal that in theory should be fairly easy to either recycle and or resharpen or whatever else, but now that would make too much sense. They just found a way to milk somebody, and that's the thing. That's the problem. It's like, I don't know. As far as I can remember, I always had some quirks. Maybe developing and get some serious stick with time. You know why it won't load your channel a bit. All right. When will net neutrality start with the pay thing? Already. I covered a few articles about that on my news, which I did on Thursday instead of Friday because of our special show last night. But actually, I think I posted on my channel. It's called Net Neutrality Fails. It's right now it's starting with the cell phone companies pretty much all throttling mobile data. And if you want to watch videos in higher than 480p resolution, you have to pay extra. That's where it's going to start. And then it's going to keep on going from there. knows, they'll probably phase it in slowly. GNOME devs are just removing things that can break. It will never break. Yeah, they'll get it down to the point where nothing will ever break. It just won't have any functionality. Like, I mean, what do I have around here that won't break? I mean, it's got to be the simplest thing in the world. Net neutrality is to stop the horde stuff, but AT&T already announced price increases. Yes. I had to take a guess. Some script blocking, probably doing it. See you later, Shatter. 16-year-old fan, thank you for your privacy and links videos. You're welcome, Damien, and welcome along. Thanks for watching. Okay, also Norway is one of the few countries which no deficit, and they have a very social system. Net neutrality is to stop internet speech. Free internet speech. Yes. Cat, what? Okay, do you want to come up and stay up here? Would you stop coming up and leaving in 2 minutes? Yeah? You can hang out. Just don't leave in 2 minutes. You're driving me nuts. All right. He's like, I think it's the end of the show, man. I'm trying to be here for the end of the show. Okay. How many desktop environments does your distro have now? I haven't tried in a while. Oh. That's for Farron. All right. Cyborg cows, obviously, yes. Microsoft's new platform. My guess is IoT cows is farmers tracking their cattle. Microchips and cows. It's Microsoft. Come on, man. That's what they should call it. It's the new cow tracking technology from Microsoft. They're going to call it Microsoft. 2 copies of Windows 10. Nice to see they're camouflaging Windows 10 as its true form now. And neutrality only applies to companies, not users, so it does not hurt free speech. Well, it does, though, if the company decides to bill users for using it. And that's where it can. It would if it does impact free speech, it is a secondary thing, not a primary thing, but it is still possible. Again, 99-cent store and buy double-edged razor blades, get 10 razors for $1. All right. Proves people will pay for anything. Telling your YouTube channel looks fine for me. Last time I tried it, ran fine for me too. Still hope GNOME will do less things, but them do it better. IoT for cows has been used for years in the Netherlands. They use it to monitor the animals to increase their production. Shaving just promotes toxic masculinity. That's right. This is the last bastion against neoliberalism, but don't fear. It's about to crash. People are getting tired of it. TFW stylish. What's TFW stylish? Turn to the dark side. Got the kick from Chrome extension, Web Store, and Firefox extension. It's a low probability of... The floor has a low probability to break. Yep. Beautiful cat. Thank you very much. His name right now is called Fleetopia, or Fleopolis, because... he's got a lot of fleas. Pulled a bunch of fleas off of you. Yes, you are getting a bath soon. You're getting another one. AT&T lets you watch videos in glorious 480p if you don't pay extra. I imagine a VPN or YouTube DL can solve the problem. That's very possible. Azure Sphere says hi to your nightmare, Peppermint 10. Oh, Microsoft. Yeah. Cow trafficking. Robotic milkers for cows. GNOME 16 will remove all terminal functionality after removing the interface in GNOME 15 and for fast boot times. Net neutrality blocks the ability to charge extra for using it. Net neutrality protects the users. Yes, that's why we need net neutrality. Okay. Any way we could possibly fight it back? There's probably some ways. ISP cursed me with forced change of plans, increasing my speed from 60 to 250 for a $1 increase a month, unlimited. I can live with that. Well, how lucky. My ISP doubled my internet again. I am now paying $90 a month for internet. And I can do nothing about it because there is no other internet company around here that I can use. Stylish, the CSS editing extension was purchased by a data analytics company and turned into a data miner. First day it announced it last year. It was predicted as inevitable. Wow. Okay. Still has fleas. Not only do you have to clean the cat, you must shampoo your carpets clean. I'm not noticing any issues with fleas in the house yet. It does just seem to be localized on the cats. But I'm monitoring the situation very closely. What I'm actually going to start doing is isolating different rooms in the house from the cats. I'm going to do some periodic things. If that doesn't work, then yep, we get to bomb the house. Once again, NSA, that's a flea bomb to get rid of fleas. I know you're listening, you know. Hello, Microsoft. Meet your worst nightmare, Peppermint 10. Microsoft, what? Peppermint 10 is nothing. Literally, go make it Pep 10 and come back. Do you know LavaBit? Yeah, LavaBit. What happened to the Darkmail project? I don't know. No, Trump isn't against net neutrality. They think the problem is Trump doesn't know what the internet is. And he's putting in people who have agendas rather than actually doing his job and learning what the internet is. Trump's only role in the death of net neutrality in the internet and his administration is his sheer ignorance. Force politicians to reduce net neutrality by voting third parties with all you do, but that's not going to happen. Probably not. Is it Proton Mail the best mail service? I don't know. An 8 respin, slightly better than Peppermint 9. Is the info on blogging, but what are some good ways to get a blog going? Good sites to start one in. I would use WordPress. I would self-host your site so you have more control over it, and you can pick up some. In fact, let me tell you what I'll do is I'll throw on some of my hosting companies that I prefer. I actually have when I launch my full-on support site, individual support site, it has affiliate links. So I actually have some affiliate links for a few different sites I recommend. So this is for A2 hosting and SiteGround. I would recommend both of these. I've used both of these. These are affiliate links, mind you. So I will get some commission if you happen to buy from those with those links. And the reason I like those is they are fast. They are not owned by EIG. Their support staff is not incompetent idiots, and both of them support free Let's Encrypt SSL, so you don't have to pay extra for your SSL. Both very easy to use. Very good uptime. That's I'm presently using A2 hosting for my hosting stuff, and SiteGround I'm not currently using, but we've used it for, it was the exclusive system that we used with one of my clients where we hosted a lot of different websites and we had zero issue with either of those companies. I also have here, I'll go ahead and throw one more in. I'll go ahead and throw in InMotion hosting. I have not used InMotion hosting personally, but they do come highly recommended from people who do know the industry. So those are three individual companies you could use, and those are affiliate links. So if you're looking at a hosting company, you can use those links. That would help support the channel. And I think you actually get some discount on your first prices as well. I need to get more information on it though, but check those out. Go with those. WordPress is easy to install on itself. Most of those systems will also probably have a one-click install. The one thing you want to avoid doing, though, do not buy WordPress managed hosting. It usually costs more and it restricts some of your ability. You want a classic run-of-the-mill cPanel hosting account and then install WordPress on it through either the single install scripts or follow their instructions for installing WordPress. So that's what I recommend. And then it's easy to use and it's the most used platform. The only thing you got to do with WordPress is you always got to make sure you're making regular backups and making regular security updates. It does have a big attack vector because it is the most used blogging platform, but it is secure as long as you are keeping up on the updates. So that's what I'd recommend for using that. You want more information, shoot me an email and we can talk more. Good morning, Q4 OS today on an old computer with DDR2. So what Linux says to Windows. Used to work for a veterinarian. The problem with fleas that due to their eggs, you have to do flea bombing multiple times or use a time released after the egg patch. Yeah, I actually have a really potent spray that will get everything off of them. I don't want to use it unless I have to, but I did actually use it to get rid of an ant infestation the other day, and it rocks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the cat a bath, and then I'm going to spot spray any fleas, spray the cat down for a few minutes with the pesticide, and then bathe them again after that. That should clear it out, get both cats. It's going to take me a couple hours to do all that, I think, but that's kind of what I think I want to do. But we'll see. Okay, so Medium, I've not used Medium, but you can check that out. A2 has automatic Let's Encrypt. Yeah, I think SiteGround does as well. I know I use the automatic Let's Encrypt on A2. It works great. I think SiteGround also has an automatic. I'm pretty sure it does. And I don't know about InMotion hosting. Okay, I heard California's net neutrality bill got restored, but I don't know if it's new, but I heard it from YouTube. Yeah, there are some things I got to look into it a little bit more again. Well, my cat, but he isn't allowed in my room. His hair gets everywhere. Yeah, mine does too. Completely agreed with WordPress hosting scams. It's just a marketing ploy. Yep. I always tell people do not use managed WordPress hosting. If you're going to do a managed WordPress hosting, if that's what you want to do, just buy it directly from WordPress.com. That's the only one I would recommend. Even that, I don't recommend it. But if you are going to have anything managed WordPress, get it from WordPress.com. But don't do that. It's just an upsell scam. What VPN service would I suggest? I personally, disclosure, I don't personally use VPNs outside of the one that I built for myself. But if you're looking for a good one, according to my sources, I look at TechLore's videos for that because he actually reviews all of them on a regular basis. He says some of the best ones are Nord. He likes private internet access. He likes Proton Mail has one. Is it Proton VPN, I think? And there's a few other ones he recommends as well. Those are the ones that he recommends. So I'll just refer you to TechLore's channel. Shout out mail. Did I do it right? Yes, that's correct. Yep. Okay. Microsoft will end support for Windows 7 in 2020. Yep. I'm looking just email hosting, not a website. I need to run from Oath and Gmail. Daniel, just pick yourself up a domain name and a cPanel hosting, and email is easy. I have some videos on how to do that. I might be worth doing a few new ones, but that's what I would do. You can get it pretty cheap. That's what I recommend. That's what I always do. Capture is good for fleas, but they spray you already. Have you get the job done? NordVPN is good, or private internet access. Yep. Most website hosting service off email as well. Good way to get rid of ants is a pan full of hot water. I pity the ants, but is poison any better? Microsoft 7 upgrades to Windows 10. Still good on Microsoft. In Britain, I've done it twice, 4 months. That's documentation. Windows lifetime kind of says so. Yeah, who's going to downgrade from stable 7 to deteriorating Windows 10? If you don't mind, I have an affiliate link for PIA. I support PIA. Yeah, Tux, go ahead and throw yours in. Let me make you a mod real quick. Tux Digital, go ahead and drop yours in. Actually, I have a Nord link. Copy link location. So here's a NordVPN affiliate link from me, and I think Tux Digital is going to be dropping in a private internet access affiliate link for him. So if you want to use Nord, you can use my link. If you want to use look at private internet access, look at Tux Digital's. That'll support Tux Digital. Greetings, Undertaker. Tom, ever try a flea comb? Yes. A dish of alcohol handy to drop the comb in when you catch them. You know anything about Windows or just Linux? Yeah, actually I do my work on Windows 7 still. I have a Windows 10 computer down here. It hasn't been booted on for like 3 or 4 months at least. But yeah, I have to know how to use them because I'm you know in the IT field professionally, so I have to know how to use all of them. So I got Windows, I got Mac, I got Linux, I got it all. I never did trust Tanzania. Greetings, Toss. How are you? All right, so there's Tux Digital's private internet access. That's what I need to do with mine. You need to put those links in like mine. That'd work. You need to call A2 and set something up. Okay, industry standard. Only by those who don't realize Linux is a thing. Most likely be ridiculous. Different people offering Linux. Nord is also very good too. Yeah, I think doesn't Nord? No, I think it's I don't know which one actually allows Monera to be used. I forget which one. Should I switch my hard drives with an SSD? I don't personally think so. You will get a small speed bonus with an SSD, but I think they're still too expensive. And if an SSD decides suddenly to crash, it's done. The good news is when it finally crashes, you can usually get data off of it for 1 or 2 more times. But I'm not running. I'm running SSD on one system, but I've had SSDs crash on me very recently, and that's kind of a problem. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and get jumping off here. So we'll go ahead and do a final call for comments. We'll kind of wrap up in about 5 minutes, and you know what that means. That means that we are getting ready to feed the kitty. So if you are new to my stream, we end my live streams with maximum cuteness. Oh boy, kitty. Oh boy. Oh boy, kitty. Oh no, over here. Over here in the camera. Oh yeah, there you go. Here, do one for this camera here. Aww. And we got one more, yo, one more. Aww. Are they finger licking good today? Oh, they are finger licking good. Yeah, they are. Yep. Yeah, there you go, buddy. All right. These are good, huh? Those good? You good? Are they? All right. Okay. Oh, for Windows 7, I agree, industry standard. All right. I just had a Brooklyn bagel in a car. A Brooklyn bagel. All right. NordVPN supports Monera, but I don't know if PIA does. Yeah, I knew one of them did. I can't remember which one. Where to buy domain for email? I sell domains for $12.50, although you can probably get a better deal by picking up one of the other places. There's like Namecheap. There's so I don't know outside of my place because I've been a domain registrar for a while, and my direct buy system is not online any longer. But I should put that back up online. I should do that. But I do like maybe Namecheap or Register.com maybe. I don't remember. Tux, what's your thoughts on best places to pick up a domain name? Like I said, I buy all mine from myself. But I charge a little bit more because I have a discount for hosting. I do sell hosting, by the way. It's not the best for doing email hosting, but I sell mine for $85 a year is what I do mine for. You can shoot me an email for details about either buying a domain or buying hosting or both from me. I need to have a better system of upselling that on my channel for my stuff. That's mostly my web design stuff, but yeah, I can offer those as well. YouTube re-adds moderation features in the moderation menu instantly when a person loses moderator to their comments. What? Huh. I don't know if it helps, but I got Nord bought with scrubbed Bitcoin, and faked temp info. Okay. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Okay, that is one fat cat. Actually, no, he's just excessively fluffy. He is like 1 pound overweight, but not much. He's just excessively fluffy. Way excessively fluffy. Cat looks kind of resource. Are you resource heavy? Are you resource heavy? Are you? Okay, fat cats are way cuter than skinny ones. All right. The next one. But some people just come here for the kitty. That is actually correct. Okay, so name cheap. Quite cheap as the name implies. Yeah, and they don't seem any worse. My registrar is through Enom, is where I have a final registrar through, but like I said, I use mine. I need to set up a registration system again. I used to have one a while ago, but I took it down. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this guy up. So thanks for watching. Once again, you can pick up, if you want to pick up something like a mouse pad to drive your kitties crazy with, or stainless steel coffee cups or water bottles, t-shirts, things like that, go to shop.switchtolinux.com for that. I am on Patreon, patreon.com/Tom M, and you can find other ways to help support me over at switchtolinux.com/support. So you can check me out over there. And let's see. Toss domains I've used for years. Okay. I like Namecheap method of who is by default. Okay. It's just on payment processing. Sorry if you missed it. I generally just use PayPal unless if the transactions exceed like 50 a day or like 50 a month or so, it might be worth looking into getting a payment gateway from your bank. The downside is those usually cost, either an extra $100 a month or whatever else, but it does decrease the cost per transaction. So that's what I would do. There's Stripe, there's those other startup ones like that. All right, guys, we're going to jump off from now. I will probably not be on again until tomorrow-ish, so I will catch you guys later. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.